Mr. Prabal Chakrabarti. I think Prabal does not need introduction, but I'll just try to be brief. Mr. Prabal is the managing partner of Ekesia Advisors, a leading global strategic advisory firm. He comes with a rich experience of over 27 years in the medical device industry, working with companies like Boston Scientific and Johnson & Johnson. He has held several leadership positions in different industry bodies like chairman of the Medical Device Committee of American Chamber of Commerce in India, co-chair of Confederation of Indian Industries, CII, Indian Advisory Council member of US, and director at Medical Technology Association of India. Being an active member of bodies like FICCI, AdvaMed, and NetHealth, he is helping in shaping the healthcare environment in India. So Prabal, can you please elaborate on impact of this crisis on medtech industry in next 6 to 12 months, and your key takeaways for medtech leaders on how they can ensure their organizations can not only survive but thrive also in this crisis. Over to you, Prabal.
One second. So good afternoon to all of you. And thanks a lot, Gaurav, for the opportunity. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible, Prabal.
So let me, there are two parts to your question. I think the first one obviously talks about the impact over the next 6 to 12 months. And the second part, obviously, what would be the key takeaways? And I would love to share some of my thoughts. So first and foremost, let me talk about the impact. So COVID, as we all know, it is not time bound, nor is it bound by geography. So that makes the situation very complex and challenging for the business. So it can happen anytime, it can happen anywhere. The speed and depth of disruption, we all know, it is unprecedented. Now, one of the things that all of us, we are hearing now, and that experts are talking about a V and a U-shaped kind of a recovery. But my personal strong belief is that the virus will linger for a longer time, and a W-shaped heterogeneous recovery will happen over the next 1 year till the vaccines are developed. So this pandemic is unique in some ways compared to some of the other crises like 2008 and so on and so forth, that both supply and demand sides have experienced shock waves. On one hand, health systems have redirected substantial resources to COVID as per government guidelines. On the other hand, elective procedures have declined in a very big way across hospitals as fear has gripped the minds of the patients. Now, hospitals have started losing revenue, profitability, and cash flow is facing tremendous challenge. Development and management of COVID infrastructure is expensive, which is further challenging the survival of the medical facilities. Now, when I'm talking about medical facilities, it includes not only the hospitals, the clinics, path labs, imaging centers. I think all of them are impacted. Now, this is having a serious impact on the medtech companies, especially those that cater to the elective side of the story. And we all know that many companies actually focus on the elective side, not so much on the COVID products. And there's a substantial focus in terms of revenue and margins on the elective side of things. On the supply side, there have been tremendous challenges with respect to transportation holdups, sporadic raw material supply, ambiguity around government policies across states. And that is something that the medtech industry has seen over the last several months. And obviously the medtech companies which are dealing with COVID products, they definitely have an opportunity to really ramp up and redirect capacity towards those products. And we have also seen over the last couple of months that some of the companies are actually going beyond their industry and collaborating with the auto industry to really work on ventilators. And this is not only happening in India, but across the world. So if I have to really summarize the impact, what I would say that sales, profits, cash flow, these are some of the things that over the next 6 to 12 months should be very closely watched. On the supply side, I think things are going to improve because over the last couple of months, the ecosystem has gained a lot of knowledge, collaborating and working together. Tremendous amount of collaboration has happened across stakeholders. And also the industry has worked a lot with the government. And over a period of last couple of months, they've gained a lot of knowledge. And obviously we see a little bit of improvement as we move forward. On the demand side, I obviously, my understanding would be that there would be a gradual improvement. But if you compare a quarter with last year's quarters, the same quarter, then obviously there will be a sharp decline, but gradually we'll see a reduction in the decline as we move from one quarter to the other. And we hope somewhere around first quarter of 2020-21, more near to when the vaccine is developed, we might see some kind of a decent recovery, although a full recovery is not really expected even then. Now, moving to some of the key takeaways, I think first I would like to comment on the supply side. Now, in a crisis situation, it makes a lot of sense to work together as an industry rather than individual companies to resolve issues with different stakeholders. Now, CII, FICCI, and Badri is here as the chair of FICCI MedTech. CII and FICCI MedTech committees have done a great job, and organizations should take their help in the coming days. Now, they have a terrific reach, all these industry bodies across the country, and this can help in moving products in the supply chain. And we all know that healthcare is a state subject, and coordination between center and state is very, very important. Now, moving over to the demand side. Now, decline in elective procedures will remain a key concern, though surges in demand, pent-up demand, is possible. Now, patients are scared of visiting hospitals lest they contract COVID. The hospitals have to figure out ways to give back the confidence to patients. And this is what I'm talking about is post 3rd of May. So they have to figure out ways to give back the confidence to patients about the safety measures. Today, some of the hospitals have started, treating every patient as a suspect COVID patient. So the question that I would like to raise out here is that can medtech industry collaborate with hospitals, clinics, testing labs to facilitate the confidence building exercise? It will be a terrific customer focused approach and can play an important role in building long-term relationship. Now, many hospitals and organizations have huge receivables with the government schemes like CGHS, and industry bodies are working and should keep on working together to engage with the government on this important issue, as it is really choking the cash flow of the hospitals. And thereby the medtech industry is getting impacted as it's a hospital where the rubber really meets the road. Cash preservation will be very important to tide over the situation. Sales projections should be brutally honest. Regular cash flow forecasting, stringent receivables and inventory management, alternate contracting would be the need of the hour. Credit lines should be drawn wherever possible. Investment should be recalibrated and fixed costs should be pruned. However, here I would like to comment that cash-rich organizations have a serious advantage. Today I was reading that Medtronic is sitting on a cash reserves of almost more than $11 billion. And they're continuing with full capacity manufacturing, readying for things to improve so that they're in a position to supply globally. And also this gives an opportunity for mergers and acquisitions. Now, commenting on the supply chain, I think repositioning of inventory to areas of greatest need is going to be very, very important. There are many hospitals and nursing homes the beds are absolutely vacant, whereas there are hospitals where still a lot of elective procedures are happening. And it is important for the medtech industry to make sure that the products reach the right place so that the healthcare benefits are maximized. Alternate supply chain initiatives should be adopted. Organizations still having linear supply chain model should plan to move to digital supply networks, which provides end-to-end visibility. This is very important in a crisis pandemic scenario. Paper-based processes should change to digitization. Who knows when the next pandemic is really due. Commenting on leadership and people, at this stage, more than a visionary style of leadership, an institutional holding style of leadership which acknowledges distress and difficulty without giving into powerlessness would be appropriate. Sensitivity, empathy, and compassion would be very important in dealing with employees. Honest, consistent, and adaptive communication is the need of the hour. Pain should be shared, and teamwork would be key in finding solutions to the challenges. To conclude, I would like to say that as we journey through this crisis, innovative and cost-effective processes and systems have to be developed in parallel to manage the relationship between customer and the brand. Pre-pandemic segmentation may become obsolete. Healthcare may look very different post-COVID. It would be important to start shifting investments to the digital space. This would position the organization on a higher pedestal for the current and the future. So thanks, Gaurav. Over to you.
I think excellent insights.